What's going on, everyone? So there is a lot of rumors and speculations that LeBron James may have just played his last year and he is looking to retirement. LeBron James, he has to go have surgery in the offseason, according to him, and he has a lot that he needs to do. Now, I made a video earlier today breaking down all of my thoughts and opinions on that and how I don't buy it. I don't think LeBron is going to leave. I think this is your typical LeBron putting the pressure on the organization to push their chips to the table in order to contend for a championship. The Lakers were right there. They were 8 wins away from an NBA title. I think LeBron James is looking at it as like, I have to go this offseason and do all kinds of stuff for me to get back to NBA ready. I am only going to do that if you hold up your end and you don't just sit on your hands. And so I don't see LeBron James actually retiring. But it is a real possibility. He very well could just decide, hey, I'm going to retire. I'm going to go take this year off, get my body right, go get the surgery, get everything together. And then when my son enters the NBA, I will make my return. I will play with my son for a year or two, then ride off into the sunset and everything will be great. If that happens, then the LeBron James and Anthony Davis era would officially be over. And the Lakers would be put in a very particular scenario, right? Because not only would you lose LeBron James, you very likely lose any likelihood of you being a title contender. Because yes, you would lose LeBron's money. You're not going to have $50 million to go and spend because they're still going to have to pay Rui Hachimura. They're still going to have to pay Austin Reeves. They're still going to have to do several things. And do they just say, okay, well, let's just ride with this team? We won't have LeBron James. Let's see how this team and Anthony Davis does and see if Anthony Davis is the guy. But then he's a free agent the following year and no LeBron James. At that point, if LeBron James actually retires, in my opinion, you have to trade Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, I think, has insane trade value right now because, one, he just proved that he could stay healthy throughout the playoffs, that he could play through little tic-tac fouls. I also think that Anthony Davis and what he was able to achieve specifically on the defensive end, I think is enough value in and of itself. I mean, he put on a display like we have never seen on the defensive side of the ball. Not just that, but with the right pieces around him, Anthony Davis will be a more effective offensive player. Like Draymond Green himself told you exactly what the game plan was for every team. Prevent Anthony Davis from going off for 40 every night because he's the ultimate mismatch. The Lakers can't shoot, so pack the paint and make him have to fight over multiple bodies, possession after possession after possession. If the Lakers could get 2 or 3 legit shooters, Anthony Davis would have a world of ease when it comes to shooting and getting his buckets, right? So I think if the Lakers were to offer him in trade packages or at least field offers and calls, I think they would get a sizable return. Seriously, I think they would get one of the biggest returns that there are. I mean, look at like what Rudy Gobert got, right? You don't think a team like the Knicks or, like the Celtics or the Warriors or whomever, right? There's probably a dozen teams that would sell the farm to go get Anthony Davis because they'd be looking at it as like he's the missing piece that we need to win an NBA championship, right? His defense alone is probably enough for a handful of teams to win the NBA championship. So I, without a doubt, believe Anthony Davis on the trade block, the Lakers would get a nice return. Now, there's 2 ways the Lakers could approach this, right? No LeBron James, keep this in mind. They could either A, make some big blockbuster trade for a bunch of young talent. Not saying that he would go to the Warriors or anything like that, but we're just going to use them as an example, right? Like a team like the Warriors who have, Moody and, they have Kuminga and they have Jordan Poole, right? Could you get a package of like Moody, Kuminga, Poole, and like a first or maybe even a couple for Anthony Davis, and Golden State goes all in one last time for an NBA championship, right? Maybe you have to throw in another piece or something just to make salaries match, but you get my point, right? The idea is essentially like, hey, we're going to give you all of our young talent. We're going to give you whatever draft picks, and we're going to take Anthony Davis, and we're going to go for one final push. And we'll have a team of Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Draymond, and Anthony Davis. That is probably the best team in the league for the next couple years, as long as everyone can stay healthy. The Warriors probably win another championship or several at that point if everyone can stay healthy, right? And kind of ride Steph into the sunset. And if you're the Lakers, you would get, again, a Jordan Poole, a Kuminga, a Moody, a couple draft picks to add to your young core already. You got some development pieces, and now you've just embraced the full rebuild. Again, not necessarily saying it's the Warriors. Maybe you do a deal with the Knicks, right? And you get like RJ Barrett and Grimes and, several pieces from them, a couple draft picks. And again, it's the same idea. The Lakers basically flip Anthony Davis into as much promising young talent as possible to begin a rebuild and look into that direction and go the youth route, right? You already have some nice pieces in Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura. You also have Jared Vanderbilt, who's only 24 and has a lot of potential. You have Mo Bamba, who could be a project that you could work on and develop at that point. You have Max Christie. You'd have your 17th pick. Like, the Lakers would be 15 plus deep and just very young quality talent, right? And maybe could still remain relatively competitive, but they wouldn't be a championship contender. That is always the approach, and that is always the possibility in which they could go. The other route outside of the young talent would be the star route. Going and getting a star or lesser star plus some other assets, right? Like, could you turn Anthony Davis into, a Trae Young, Clint Capella, and, Hunter or something like that? And maybe get a couple pieces where you get a lesser tier star plus some complementary pieces that you can add to your roster. That's the kind of route, the other alternative. Or you do some big trade, right, where you're getting another star or two, right? Like, what's going on with Jaylen Brown, right? Can you maybe work something out in that regard? That would be the other approach, where the Lakers go, let's go look for a young star that is available and disgruntled, and maybe go make a push. I wouldn't do this in like an Anthony Davis for like Damian Lillard at that point. That doesn't make any sense. Damian Lillard is older. It would have to be a young star or a young guy that has the star potential, right? If you could get the right pieces, or, if you could trade, could you get like a deal with Portland, right? Could you get the number 3 pick? Maybe go get a Scoot Henderson and also get a Simons and a couple other pieces, right? That could be an approach. The Lakers could look to explore something like that and maybe do the rebuild route, or you go get younger stars to add to your roster now, and you have D'Angelo Russell, you have Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves. Maybe you're adding in like a Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams to that core group. And now maybe you're looking at a D'Lo, Reeves, Jaylen Brown, Rui Hachimura, Robert Williams starting 5, right? Where you have like a nice balance there. You're not really a contender, but you could see the potential to maybe get there in a couple years, right? Can Jaylen Brown become that number 1 guy? Can Rui Hachimura become a number 1 or number 2 guy? Austin Reeves, can he maintain that like 3rd guy type role? Those type of things. Those are kind of the options that I see with a potential trade centered around Anthony Davis, which I don't think would be the biggest issue in the world, right? Because if you don't have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, you'd have to basically go all in on another star. Who is that other star? And does it make you a contender, right? Like, if the Lakers went and, let's say LeBron James walks, and you go and you trade for, say, Damian Lillard, I don't know if that's enough to be an NBA champion. I don't know if that's enough to make you a championship contender. So do you really want to trade whatever pieces and assets and things like that just to have Damian Lillard, Anthony Davis, and a bunch of like, role guys. Like, yeah, maybe Rui takes that next step because there's no LeBron James. Maybe Austin Reeves can still maintain. So maybe your starting five is Damian Lillard, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, and Rui Hachimura and Anthony Davis, right? So you got Dame as like your point guard, and you got Dame and AD as like your two stars. Maybe that's something. Again, if you're going to lose LeBron James, you might as well just hit the rebuild. You got some nice young guys. You get some nice young talent. Develop them, grow them, build this team, get some nice young pieces, maybe get, like I said, a young star-level player, and then transition that into this, like, rebooted, retooled, in like 2 to 3 years we can be contenders type roster. That's the approach that I'd like to see from the Lakers. If LeBron James leaves, why are you going to try to force it with Anthony Davis? I don't think Anthony Davis is a 1. I think he's proven he's not a 1. I think he is an amazing 2. I think he might be the best 2 in the league when he's locked in on both sides. But I don't think he's the guy that him and a bunch of role guys can win you a championship. I don't think he's Jokic. I don't. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you think, Anthony Davis, make the trade if LeBron leaves? Do you think, no, go get another star, maybe go get a Dame or something like that to pair with Anthony Davis? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below.